Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Lee. Cavaliers fans burn LeBron jerseys after he leaves. That's fine. Their frustration is understood. Thunder fans burn Kevin Durant's jersey when he joins the Warriors. Perfectly fine as well. Their anger is understood. But burning the jersey of a player that never even played a single game for your team, that is just ridiculous. And I guess these two Celtics fans really wanted to see Markelle Fultz play for the green and white next year. So much so, in fact, they went out and bought a custom-made Boston Celtics Markelle Fultz jersey. And as we all know, Markelle Fultz will no longer be a Celtic since the Celtics traded the #1 pick in this year's draft to the 76ers. And I guess that made them feel some type of way, so they decided to keep the tradition alive and burn the jersey.
Yo, wherever we got this fucking lighter, we gotta go get our fucking money back.
Oh, it sucks. That's why I put the cardboard. Look at it. It's catching the cardboard. That's why it's burning now. Because before it wasn't catching shit.
We good. The gasoline worked a little bit.
Goodbye, folks. It was nice knowing you for 2 weeks. Bye.
Green runs deep, but we don't need no faults around here.
Look, are you guys stupid? Like, honestly, are you guys stupid? You can answer honestly, it's okay. I'm not mad with what Paul George did. It's not like he demanded a trade or anything, but he just came out and let them know that after this year, I'm about to be out, so you guys can do whatever you want. I just thought I'd give you a head up. It's kind of like he put in his 2-week notice with the Pacers. And he apparently also told the Pacers that he wants to go to LA, but before he does, he will be traded. To who and for what, we don't quite know. See, the Pacers are in a position now where they have to trade him, but they can't really ask for too much in return because any team that wants to trade for him isn't gonna have to give up too much since he could very well just be a 1-year rental. And any team looking to make a 1-year rental on Paul George is most likely a team that feels like they can win with him on their roster. You know, they can win a ring, or at least come close. And of course, the first team that popped up in the headlines for a possible Paul George trade was the Cleveland Cavaliers, with a report saying that the Pacers reached out to the Cavs about a possible trade. And this feels like 2014-2015 deja vu for some reason. Remember when LeBron James was a free agent and people thought he was going back to Cleveland and they thought they would trade the #1 pick they had in that year's draft for a player like Kevin Love, and then all of that stuff happened? Yeah, I'm getting the same kind of vibes right now. And the speculation is that the Cavs will have to trade Kevin Love in order to get Paul George since the contracts match up. And realistically, it's either Love or Irving. You know, it could also be Tristan Thompson plus another throw-in player, but it's most likely gonna be Kevin Love. And I said it in some of my other videos that I don't think K Love gets enough respect for what he does to the team. He's kind of like Chris Bosh. Before Bosh joined the Big Three in Miami, he was one of the best players in the league. He joins up with LeBron and Wade, and all of a sudden people are saying he's not as good as we thought he was. Same thing for Love. But when you go from being the first option on a team to the third option, you kind of gotta expect some type of drop off from that player. So if the Cavs do trade Love for George, it's not because Love is a bad player and doesn't bring anything to the team, but it's simply because Paul George will allow them to match up better with Golden State. To beat the Warriors, you gotta have players that can not only score, which Love can, but also run the floor and defend well. Super athletic players. That is not Kevin Love. See, his game is more suited to a team that likes to play a slower half-court pace. And while he was a better defender at times last year, he is most definitely one of the last people you want guarding Durant, Curry, or Thompson. As opposed to Paul George. If you have him on Durant, Curry, or Thompson, you probably feel fine with all three. The one thing I know the Cavs will miss from Kevin Love though, besides his rebounding, are those full court outlet passes. I mean, those literally won the Cavs some games last year. But here is what Paul George has to bring to the table to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is a guy they can turn to when LeBron James goes to the bench. I mean, it will allow LeBron James to go to the bench. Let's be honest here. The most pathetic thing that we saw as fans all season long was the Cavs in the finals during 30 seconds to a minute when LeBron would try to get some rest. This man would get subbed out of the game, and before he could even fully sit down, he had to walk right back up to the scorer's table because the Warriors just went on a 10-0 run. Quick side note, I gotta give LeBron some credit for being able to keep his cool. If that were me, if my teammates couldn't hold a 10-point lead for 30 seconds, they all would have got snapped on. But like I said, with PG-13 in the game when LeBron isn't, that shouldn't happen anymore. So it makes all the sense in the world for the Cavs to trade for Paul George, and I really think they will. And I don't think it's gonna take too long for a trade to get done either. Right now, the Cavs are just assessing their risks and other options right now. You know, running it by the general manager, LeBron James, making sure he's okay with the trade so they don't lose their job. Stuff like that. And for the Pacers, you know, they're gonna shop Paul George around a bit, you know, see what the other offers are. But like I said, I don't think it'll take too long for them to discover that Love is probably the best player they'll be able to land for George at this point. But who knows? Love probably is the best player they can get straight up, but maybe some other team will be able to offer a more enticing package. Some teams that come to mind I think will be interested in George would be the Wizards, Rockets, Celtics, Blazers, Heat. But like I said in the beginning of the video, it all depends on if those other teams are willing to take the risk with Paul George, since he could very well just leave for nothing in a year. And I don't think the Pacers will get a better offer than Kevin Love unless a team really feels like he will stay, which I don't think any team should ever assume that at this point. This makes sense. See, this is what I like to see. Going all in for, maybe he's not available, but going all in for the best player that could possibly be traded for. Jimmy Butler would be nice and all for the Celtics to get, but there are a couple of problems with a trade like that. Mainly that they're already looking to sign Gordon Hayward in free agency, and with that in mind, he wouldn't really fill their other biggest need on their roster, a real big man. See, no offense to you, Al Horford, you're this very, how should I say, kind, generous, screw it, you're too soft. You're talented, but Boston needs something else. The Celtics need someone who will get rebounds, catch lobs, you know, just do the stuff that the typical big man doesn't struggle with, kind of like you do, Al Horford. You know, you're basically just another point guard to them, trapped in a big man's body. Anthony Davis, on the other hand, can do everything the Celtics would need him to do and more. And yes, this does mean that the Boston Celtics are reportedly in an all-in pursuit of Anthony Davis. They're offering the Pelicans everything they have for Anthony Davis. One report is that the Celtics have offered the Pelicans all the picks they just got from Philly. So the third pick in this year's draft, the Brooklyn first round pick in next year's draft, the Lakers first round pick in next year's draft. And if Philly gets to keep that pick due to protections, then they get the Kings pick in 2019 instead. Plus their pick of either Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, or Jay Crowder. As you might have noticed in that trade though, the Celtics do keep Al Horford. And if they keep Horford and trade for Davis, that means they will no longer be able to sign Gordon Hayward in free agency since they will have no money. And maybe they're fine with that. You know, assuming the Pelicans would take Jaylen Brown, it would give Boston the starting lineup of Isaiah Thomas, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Al Horford, and Anthony Davis. Seems pretty solid if you ask me. Horford's not a bad player, he just needs to have a more dominant big man next to him, which of course Anthony Davis could definitely be that guy. But if they can trade Horford for Davis as well as other picks, it would give them more room to sign Gordon Hayward, but it would also leave a bit of a hole in their roster at the 4 or 5 position. You know, it all just depends on whether you think Anthony Davis is a center or power forward. Maybe, just maybe they trade Horford to the Pelicans to get both Davis and Cousins, since if the Pelicans trade Davis, Cousins is as good as gone after the year anyways, but that is probably one of the biggest stretches you will ever hear. So the Celtics trading for Anthony Davis, that would definitely get a lot of fans excited to see what they can do next season. The one concern I'd have though is Anthony Davis's health. See, he's never really been able to stay healthy since coming into the league. He's always had a bunch of little nagging injuries, but it's definitely worth the risk considering how talented Anthony Davis is. And that's going to lead us to the question of the day. We had 2 pretty interesting topics, so we got a couple of questions. Answer one or answer both, your choice. First is, where will Paul George end up because it surely won't be in the Pacers uniform this season? And the second is, would you trade for Anthony Davis if you were Boston? And if so, would you try to trade or keep Horford? Would you rather have Horford or Hayward? Let me know down in the comment section below. But now let's take a look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday, after news broke that the Celtics and Sixers were trading picks, I asked you guys how you felt about that trade, and here's what you said. They're trying to get Michael Porter Jr. obviously. The Celtics made an amazing trade in my opinion. Y'all gonna see soon. In the Celtics-Sixers trade, both teams won because the Celtics were about to take Jackson anyway, and now they can take him for less money and they got a pick. I don't think they did the trade to try and get Porter Jr. See, the pick they got from Philly next year is from the Lakers and is 2 to 5 protected. So unless the pick ends up being number 1, it doesn't get them Porter. And I don't see a pick from the Lakers being bad enough next year to earn them the number 1 pick from it. On top of that, they currently still have Brooklyn's number 1 pick for next year, which will most likely be the number 1 pick in the draft again. So if they keep that, then they already basically have Porter. But it was a good trade for Philly, no doubt it seems. For the Celtics though, I just don't see them doing this without something else in the works too. So basically it seems like a 2-part trade. So before we fully judge it, we gotta see what else they do. Like I said though, don't forget to leave your answer for today's question of the day down in the comment section below. But other than that, thank you once again for watching the video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the bugs, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!